He goes, we're not there yet, but we're on our way. You know, and I feel like that's something that we're working hard on to improve. But in this particular game, I think the thing was guys stepping up and making plays. Josh Bynes just walked in the room, made that interception in quarters coverage back there in a perfect spot, you know, right where he's supposed to be relating to the route, and makes a huge play for us that stops the drive. 2 interceptions in the fourth quarter by our 2 star corners, you know, to come up with those plays. And we needed to make them. We needed to get off the field. You know, that's what guys do. This game is, as a late great Clarence Brooks said, this game is, always has been, and always will be about the players. And our players won this game. So, what questions you have?
John, what do you think it says that, I mean, obviously they stepped up and produced those turnovers in the fourth quarter, but to do so after last week when they had, you know, when that adversity hit them, to come back.
I haven't thought about it that way, really. I mean, it's a good story to write, but I'm not thinking about it that way. I mean, I think every game stands on its own 2 feet, you know. So if something was learned by that, that's fine. But it's not about redemption. It's just about, you know, I think the story there is when you face adversity. All right. You want to know the real answer? There is no better than adversity. Every defeat, every heartbreak, every loss contains its own seed, its own lesson on how to improve your performance next time. All right? It's Malcolm X. So that's the lesson to me.
Talk about the turnovers. Can you talk about the play that Kyle Hamilton made punching that ball?
Oh, Kyle Hamilton. I should have said that one too. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I mean that play. You know, it's kind of goes in the good category. You know, they make a great throw. Our guy's right there, fingertip type catch, right out of reach. Look like they're running for some yards. Kyle Hamilton with the effort play knocks the ball out. Marcus Peters with an unbelievable recovery on the sideline of a fumble. I mean, those are plays that just they're just great football plays.
Did you read that quote to the team?
After the game, I did. Yeah, that was our linebacker coach, Zach Gore, gave it to the linebackers. I noticed it in the tip sheet, so I just put it in my pocket, and there it was.
John, offensive line, you lose Patrick McCary early. Looked like Falele struggled a little bit early, and then in the second half, it seemed like that whole group solidified. How important was what they did and just the ability to get the run game going there?
They really did. You know, early on we were kind of, you know, we need to help the left tackle. And we did a couple times, but then we didn't need to. You know, then he kind of got his footing there, and then the run game started perking up. So I thought the offensive line played just a tremendous football game. They played really well last week too, so they're whipping into shape there. Pat McCarry's going to be fine. It's a sprain. He'll be okay. Won't be long term. But yeah, that was a good point.
So what do you think of your running backs?
I thought they did well. You know, I thought Justice Hill really stepped up. Right, just start with that. He was kind of the bell cow today. He made some exceptional runs. He and I have been talking about that for a couple weeks. You know, he was going to break out and run like a star running back, and he did it. And then I thought, J.K. came in and was exceptional. You know, first game back, couldn't have expected any better than that. You know, Mike does a great job. Still, Kenyon's doing a great job. I mean, I love all 4 of those guys.
John, when you see Lamar's stats, I mean, these are stats that normal people don't put up. I mean, 4 touchdown throws, passes, running 100 yards rushing. But, I mean, you see him every week. I mean, does anything really surprise you with what he does on the football field?
No, I'm kind of getting used to it. You know, it's a good thing. But you never do get used to it because he's just he plays his way, and you know, he's kind of determined to play his way. But it's not his way. It's winning football, man. It's fundamentally sound quarterback play. You know, he's running the show out there. He's making the checks. He's managing the clock. All the things that you would say an operator or a manager does, he's doing all those things too, right? He's doing those things, and he's making plays sometimes when the play doesn't make itself. So. And the receivers have such confidence. You got to give those guys credit. They keep running routes. They keep knowing to get open. The offensive line. I mean, to continue to pass protect when Lamar's holding the ball the way he does and moves around the pocket and not have holding calls, that's great technique. That's great discipline by those guys. And Joe does a great job of those guys too.
John, I think we saw some more read options this week than we have maybe in the previous 2. How do you think that juiced the running game?
Well, it makes it really tough to defend. I think that it just makes it challenging because. If I was assessing what they were doing, I think they were going to force Lamar to run a little bit, you know, and say, okay, are you really willing to do that? You know, is he willing to do that? Because they took away, basically took away the sweep lanes. They were playing tough against the running back, you know, stuff, especially in the first half into the third quarter between the tackles. And then they were saying, okay, run Lamar, see how much you'll do it, a little bit. I mean, they played good defense against him. But Lamar's, you know, he's just a tough guy, you know, and he made a lot of plays that way and made the running game go.
How did Dobbins look to you personally? Go ahead.
Do you think Lamar doesn't get enough Jets because of the physical talent?
I can't-
Talk so much about that.
I think it's a great question, and been trying to answer that question for 4 years now. I answer it here every time we have a press conference, and I basically say the same thing because it's true every week. So, yeah, if there's people out there that doubt that at this point in time, I don't know what to say to them. I don't think we can help them at this point.
How did Dobbins look to you, and was this kind of the plan all along this week to get him more involved, or was it something you saw in practice this week that convinced you he's ready?
It kind of was getting to the point where this week kind of got to be the week we kind of felt like we were looking at last week, and then just felt like this week would be the kind of week, and it just kind of made sense this week, in terms of how he looked.
Do you know anything more about Pierce? And I believe it was Houston.
Pierce is we'll have to see tomorrow. It's not definitive yet which way, what it is exactly in terms of seriousness. A decision will have to be made on that. What's that?
Who's the other guy I asked about?
Yeah, he's got like a strain, soft muscle thing. So it'd be some. I don't know if I don't even know if it'll be a week or not. We'll see.
Lamar has really thrown in some tight windows, and like today, where throwing up the Martinez today. Have there ever, when you're watching it, a situation where you go, and then you go, okay, that was good.
I just no one has to tell me about Lamar Jackson. I believe in him. I love him. I just believed him the first day we drafted him, the first day we talked about drafting him, and felt like, he could be everything he is. But, it's just like Marlon said, we're not there yet, but we're on our way. And he feels the same way about the way he's playing too. So just got to keep working. But I'll say this about his process. What's he in his 5th year now? So his process as a quarterback in terms of preparation has taken another step. He's always been going this way. It's another step in that direction. I think he's really kind of gotten to a point where he's really kind of found himself in terms of his quarterback preparation process.
Talk about what you saw from Devin Duvernay, the contested touchdown catch, another big return.
Devin's game. Devin, he's mad about a couple other ones, that I thought were still pretty darn good plays. But I told him, I said, you made 2 plays there, and he goes, the punt return doesn't count. I thought it was pretty good. He looked hemmed in. Guys made some blocks, man. He got up the sideline. So, Duke continues to do it. And then how about Bateman? Rashad. Has the one play. It's a tough play. He never had possession of it. You got to have possession of it. So we'd like an explanation on that. We'll be asking for one. Thanks for asking about that. And then, but to come back and make that catch and get upfield and make the play, that shows you about his character and what he's about.
You said Lamar was making a next step in terms of his preparation. How specifically would you define that next step?
I just think it's a natural next step, Sal, in terms of like finding his rhythm during the week, what he's looking at, how he studies defenses, how he breaks defenses down. You kind of it's not a light bulb thing. It's just it's an evolution of studying the game that you see quarterbacks go through. And he's still a young quarterback, and he's you watch him play. Does it look like he understands what he's going up against and what he's dealing with out there, right? And that's the result of that process and that work effort that he's putting in. It's really impressive.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.